ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to introduce to you our singing star, Miss Kitty Reed.
Hello world, this is Miss Kitty Reed, and today on Amish Book Club we will be discussing Lorie's Heart by Amy Lillard. Let me know what you thought of it in the comments. My assistant today is Theodora. She is a Springfield Collection doll, which is a compatible doll line with American Girl that I got at AC Moore. She got some new hair recently and now has this wig from Zazu Custom Dolls. Lorie Kaufman, a 23-year-old Amish woman living in Oklahoma and working at the family restaurant, just found out her father died. She and her stepmother Maddie must identify the body for the police. Lorie discovers that her Amish father had a tattoo on his chest of her mother's name, who died when she was young. Lorie also discovers that her father was leading a double life. He had a car and a driver's license that used a different last name and showed him living in Tulsa. Lorie tries to move on with her life, though she is required to wear mourning black. She goes through the motions with her boyfriend Jonah. However, Lorie has some secrets of her own. She is a painter and hides her paintings in the attic at the restaurant. Lorie is also unsure about taking baptism classes to join the church, though her stepmother forces her. Lorie needs to know more about her father, though everyone is pushing her to just let it go. She hires a driver to take her to the address on his driver's license and finds out it is an assisted living home where Lorie's grandmother lives. Zach Calhoun works at the home, and he had briefly met Lorie once before. Lorie's grandmother, Betty, has the beginnings of Alzheimer's. Since her Amish clothing upsets Betty, Lorie buys English clothes. Betty gives Lorie a box of letters from her father. In them, her father writes that he joined the Amish for Lorie, proving he was not Amish by birth. Zach agrees to take Lorie to the home whenever she wants to go, but she becomes upset when he says he likes her. They go to the home many times and stop at gas stations so Lorie can change into her English clothes. Lorie is confused at the desire she has to remain in the English world with her grandmother and has doubts about if the Amish way of life is best or if it is for her. On a trip to the mall with the seniors, Lorie buys more English clothes and gets her hair cut. At home, Lorie and Jonah discuss marriage. She says she wants to wait a year, what with the upheaval of losing her father and discovering her grandmother. Jonah says he is ready now and won't wait for her. They break up. Lorie reads more of her father's letters and learns the whole truth. Lorie's mother's family was fighting for custody of her when her mother died. They are very rich, but very controlling. To hide from their influence, her father blended in with the Amish, though he was never baptized. After staying up late in the attic reading letters, Lorie falls asleep and misses both church and her baptism class. Her stepmother says she must choose between pursuing the mystery of her father or becoming part of the family. Lorie leaves. Zach comes to get her, and she eventually moves in with his sister. She has a hard time adjusting to her suddenly English life, but does enjoy helping the seniors paint. Zach even kisses her. She and Zach search for Lorie's mother's family. He drives her to Dallas to see the oil-rich Prescotts. Lorie's grandmother, Ellie, admits she was wrong to try to take her from her father and only wanted to give her the rich life she deserved. Ellie is dying of cancer, and despite the protests of other members of the family, she says she will include Lorie in her will. While meeting her grandmother was wonderful, the pressures of English life wear Lorie down. She can only get a low-paying job, dislikes having to rely on Zach's sister, and misses her family. When Zach says they should slow down, the doubts Lorie has about their relationship come to the forefront, and she breaks up with him. She later leaves to return to the Amish, a note the only notification she gives to Zach and his sister. Lorie is glad to be among family and friends again, but her experience in the English world has changed her. She feels that she wants to be a part of both worlds, but belongs in neither. She and Jonah agree to try dating again. Lorie's stepmother reveals that Zach sold some of her paintings to the owner of the nursing home for $1,000. She apologizes for forcing Lorie out of the house and says she may remain in the English world and still have contact with her family. Later, Jonah asks Lorie to marry him. The seniors, missing Lorie, arrange a trip to Lorie's town, but when they get to the restaurant, they find it is closed for a wedding. Zach thinks that all hope is lost. Unknown to him, Lorie turned down Jonah's proposal and has made arrangements to transition to English life. Later, Lorie gets a letter telling her that her grandmother, Ellie Prescott, died and gave her $500,000. Zach proposes, to which Lorie happily agrees. They both work at the nursing home with the seniors they love. The end. This was truly an amazing book. The characters really make this a standout novel. Every person seems so true to life, and you really get to love Lorie and Zach. The seniors are all sweet comic relief, and each has their own unique qualities. There are real-life complexities presented. It might be expected in a novel for Lorie to just run off to the English world and live happily ever after, but Lorie goes back to the Amish and must decide for herself where she belongs. She has a messy relationship with Jonah, and no one is painted as solely right or wrong. And for a book so centered on Lorie, Zach could have been one-dimensional, but he was a character with plenty of depth as well. I've always appreciated books with characters that are intriguing regardless of the plot. When I was young, I would often wish for a book where there was no plot, where I just got to experience the characters without them having to change or do something. In Lorie's Heart, my wishes for character examination are fulfilled. The characters are compelling regardless of the plot, but the plot also fits the characters. There is so much drama and action, but it never felt rushed. This book reminds me of The Shunning. Most obviously, this is because there is an Amish girl with a secret rich family who is forced to leave Amish life, but this is done in such a way as not to seem like a knockoff. The emotional depth and realism of the characters, as well as the immersion of the setting, are like The Shunning as well, and that is hard to do. Author Amy Lillard let the plot happen naturally, not forcing anything or putting in unnecessary subplots. I truly commend her for that. Lorie's Heart is an examination of finding yourself and living in life's gray areas. The reader is right there with Lorie, confronting the messiness of life and learning how to make choices for herself and not just for others. I give this book a 7 out of 7. It is all around superb. Our next book will be The Amish Suitor by Joanne Brown. Please check with your local library to see if you have it on the shelves. If not, I am sure they would be happy to get it for you through interlibrary loan. Theodora would like to remind all of you out there on the information superhighway to share your opinions in the comments and look at the video description for important links. This has been Amish Book Club with Miss Kitty Reed. This is Miss Kitty Reed and Theodora signing off. See you later on Amish Book Club.
Living in the river.